My name is Magnolia Heaton. I'm owner and clinical director of Love is Healing LLC, and today I just wanted to make a video. It's my first time ever visiting Oklahoma, and I've wanted to visit my whole life since I heard the name. I don't know why. It just always kind of called me. And yeah, I'm here, and I like it a lot. If I haven't yet, I'm definitely going to start saying a lot of things that are super taboo, because I do have a lot of unpopular opinions, firstly. Secondly, because I'm here to support you in thinking critically about all the messaging that you receive, really, in life, right? And even if you have beliefs that you believe, that's great. And I hope that if my beliefs are opposite yours, that you stand firmer in your beliefs. And if you believe the same way that I do, cool. I want to do my best to be generally neutral, though, like presenting both sides, if ever possible. Anyhow, with that said, yeah, I'm in Oklahoma for the first time. It's pretty cool. I want to say that I like stereotypes a lot because I think they're fitting in most ways. I didn't like plan for this video. It just kind of happened, but like there aren't a lot of stereotypes that I can think of that are not true. I know that people talk a lot about stereotypes being negative, and they definitely can be. I think they can be negative when we exclude other people and when we're quick to judge. Also, we need stereotypes to judge quickly in situations where there's threat or danger or something like that, right? Or we need to make kind of an instinctual kind of decision. But they're not always bad. And anyhow, there's this video that I recorded of when I visited the South for the first time. I want to say 2 years ago. But I didn't post it because it was taboo. I'm gonna go back and look at it again and see if I still think it's super taboo. Anyhow, well, yeah, I just moved to Texas. It's been almost a month, and again, this is the first time that I've come to Oklahoma, and I like it a lot. I like the area in general a lot, but this in particular I think is super nice. It reminds me a lot of New Mexico, place in which I lived 11 years. So that's refreshing. I love the drama. So I love how green it is and flat. And I love how earthy it is, and I love I can't even show you really. Even if I tried, I don't think you'll be able to see really, but there's a lot of like clouds, right? There's a lot of thunder behind me, and I like that. Anyhow, I was driving, and then I keep seeing these big tanks, and I wasn't sure what they were, but I guess they're grain mills, which is really interesting. Just a side note, because again, I know this is an unpopular opinion. I am the first person in my family to be born in America, and I love America. I love America a lot. Why? Because my parents came from another country. My parents, my sisters, and grandparents came from another country to seek opportunity in this country, right? And I knew that. And they talked about it all the time with me. My elders really talked about it with me all the time when I was growing up. They're like, yeah, we came for this opportunity here, etc., whatever. And they told me, and they shaped me in that way. And they're like, yeah, we want you to make the best of it without putting too much pressure on me, right? They're like, yeah, we want you to make the best of it, like, you know, go to college, whatever, make good money or something like that. I don't know. You have more opportunities here than you would in Mexico. And I took that to heart from when I first heard it at a really young age as a kid. And so, as such, to me, America is a land of opportunity, and I have had a lot of opportunities, period. Also, I love traveling, and I've traveled to for the most part, I tend to not travel to touristy places. So I'm thinking about, like, when I've traveled to Mexico, right? For the most part, I mean, I can't really think of many times that I've stayed in a really nice place. The last couple times that I went, I stayed in nice places. I'm not gonna say they're amazing and like top notch. They were Airbnbs in Coyoacán, in Ciudad Mexico, which was nice. And like, if I had a house there, I would want it to look that way. But other than that, I've slept on the floor, and I've been to houses where they didn't have running water and they didn't have toilets and things like that. So like, I had family, let's see, I had a grandma that lived in Cancun. She lived in Guadalajara first, but she moved to Cancun, and I know that, pretty sure they had a really low toilet, kind of like they do in Japan, or they had a hole for a toilet, something like that. And I remember one time when I visited my uncle, he didn't have running water or something, and so that was the first time that I had to use a bucket of water to flush the toilet. And that's just how he lived every day, right? May they both rest in peace. And like, I have family that lives in ranches, right? And I'm not terribly close to them, but I have family that lives on ranches, and like, they're pretty poor. They just live off of the food that they make, right? So it's humbling to me. I'm like, yes, this is literally my family. This is literally what I came from, and this could be me, right? Period. And it's humbling every time that I go. It's humbling every time that I travel. So on one note, there's that. And then I'm grateful that my parents went to college and they got bachelor's degrees. And so, yeah, I grew up with privilege, and I'm grateful to have that privilege, because I believe, and if I haven't said it here, I say it to myself all the time. My stuff, if I didn't say that clearly. And like, I think it's great to have privilege, because when you have privilege, then you're able to have greater awareness and things like that, and lift other people up. That's the whole point, right? To have money, to have power, to have privilege. I mean, I think if you have a good heart, the whole point of having that, of striving for that, at least for me, I can say, but I would hope for most people, is to lift other people up along the way and to teach them to do the same, you know? And to me, that's being a servant. It's serving humanity or what have you. It's showing them that things are possible, that their dreams are possible. And to me, that's all what America represents. I grew up in Southern California, and so it was a small town, and there wasn't a lot of variety. Everybody else was Mexican or second or third generation Mexican, but most of them were like first generation American. So sorry, yeah, first, second, or third generation American. Most of them were first generation American. Or some were even like just like Mexican immigrants, right? Like probably half of the city I grew up in. And there wasn't a lot of variety, right? I'm gonna say this. This isn't when I expected the video to be. This was coming out, so like whatever. I'm just gonna follow that. I didn't grow up with. Okay, yeah, most people were Mexican, but we also had black people, and we had some white people. It's like Mexicans, and then black people, and then I would say white people, and then after that it was like Asians, right? Like of all kinds. So it was pretty diverse, especially for a small town, I'd say. And people didn't care. Like, again, and I feel like I'm not gonna say that's a privilege, but it's something to be grateful for. Like, nobody cared if you were white or black or like what, green. Like, no one cared. By which I mean everyone was accepted, right? And in high school, and I think this is unfortunate, and I'm so sorry for people who had opposite experiences. I grew up in a utopia, essentially, right? Like, yeah, everybody got along. The jocks got along with the emo people, and like the band geeks and the theater people. Like, everyone got along, right? Granted, I kind of like I was very much a social butterfly, and I'm very extroverted, and I like socializing, and I would talk to everybody, but like everybody was cool. I was like, oh, this is weird. I feel like that's probably one of the first times that I started to see the programming that the media pushes, because I was like, oh, I guess I was expecting everything to be segregated. And like, sure, people were sitting in cliques, but it's not like the cliques were closed. And if anybody came, people would be responsive. People weren't gonna be jerks and just like ignore people or like call people names or make fun of them. So it's just an interesting thing. Anyway, there's that. And so yeah, I'm in Oklahoma, and I actually didn't know that there were indigenous people here. I think there's a show, right, called Reservation Dogs. Isn't it based in Oklahoma? I want to say that it is. And so then it kind of opened my mind. And I already knew that, like, I started watching that show, and then I knew that I was going to be moving here to North Texas, I think it's called. And I looked up, and I was like, oh, what? There are, like, native populations here, which is pretty cool, or First Nations. I say that because, like, there are a lot of First Nations people in New Mexico, again, which I lived, like, basically a third of my life. So it's nice because it seems, you know, familiar. I'm sure their cultures are different, but like I feel like there's a lot of poverty, and that's really humbling always, and like it expands my heart somehow because I like to live a simple life, and I see other people living simple lives, and it just grounds me. Like, what am I tripping on? Like, what do big screen TVs matter? Right? And having a house with 10 rooms and 3 floors, like, for no reason, that's going to be completely empty. For some people, I mean, that's great. For me, I'm just like, that would feel really sad and lonely. Anyways, I'm digressing. And stereotypes. I think it's really cool because I saw grain mills here, and then I saw bales of hay, and this is only like 5 miles into Oklahoma from Texas. And I just think that that's really beautiful. And I see a lot of country homes, and I see cows, and I'm starting to see a little kind of dust storm or a little kind of cyclone. Oh, look. There's a bag that's floating in the wind right now in the field. That's pretty cool. I really like it. It's exciting. As I was driving, I don't know what direction that is. If I was going east, that's going to be south. So then, yeah, as I was driving south, it looked very, like, tornado-ish. I haven't seen the movie Twister. I've probably seen, like, 2 minutes of it. It looked like that. I was like, whoa, I feel like I'm in the movie. And that's really cool. I feel like it looks very stereotypical. Which, I like stereotypes because I feel like that's what makes different peoples, regions, unique. Cultures, unique. And I like that. I feel like everyone, sure, like, I don't know. I honestly don't follow like negative things, but let me think. I think people don't like stereotypes because people, again, get like alienated or whatever because of stereotypes, right? Or pushed away or what have you. But with, sorry, I got a text and it threw me off. Yeah, I just think it's beautiful that everyone has like their unique characteristics and like comes from a unique place. So I guess maybe part of my message is like, bro, like if you're hanging out with people who are making fun of you for being part of a certain demographic or group, like you're hanging out with the wrong people, really. And I hope those people get pulled out of your life because no one deserves that kind of treatment, you know? And I like it here. It's just so cool. And people tend to be pretty grounded and just really proud of who they are. And like people in certain ways, again, Southern California, they don't care how they dress or anything like that. Like they're not materialistic, which I like because again, that humbles me and makes me feel grounded. And it's like, yeah, what actually matters, right? Is there anything else I want to say? I feel very American being here, which is cool because, tying back to earlier, being from California, being from Southern California, it's just very, even though I was like an hour away from like Los Angeles, it feels very kind of Hollywoodish. Like, what even is the culture there? People will be like, white people be like, we have no culture. I'm like, bro, y'all have culture. You really do. I'm like, what the heck is the culture in Southern California? Just being kind, maybe. I don't know. Maybe being open to different ideas or something, being a melting pot. I'm not sure. But I for sure did not feel American living over there because I lived in a very Mexican community. People very much spoke Spanish. People were very much brown, which is fine. It just isn't reflective of what you'd see on TV for America, right? Or most of America, or at least not growing up anyway. Of course, like, it's becoming more diverse as we get kind of older, more modern times. And yeah, and I mean, like, you know, back then it would be like 75 degrees year round for the most part. And so it's nice to be in a place where it looks like it does on TV, and it's pretty country, and there's a lot of American flags and a lot of Texan flags, and there's pickup trucks. Oh, I probably like it too because I like country music. So, I mean, I haven't listened to it in a while, but I think country music is really sweet because I like to listen to country music love songs. So, yeah, that's probably why I romanticize it a lot. But it's beautiful, and it's really cool. Like, I mean, to be close to the agricultural components of things. There are a lot of local farms here that go to farmers markets, and like, it's cool to eat local produce and meats and things. I like it, and people would just feel so proud, and it's like, well, that's so cool. You should feel proud. You are here, you toiled this land, you took care of it, you're taking care of your animals, you know them personally, like, you revere them, you have my respect. You are doing a lot for the community, honestly. Anyhow, I know it was a bit of a ramble. I feel really passionate about this, and I hope this instilled any kind of love in you, or passion, or anything like that. I think it's important that we all be who we are, because the more that we are who we are, the more that we attract people who are meant for us, right? I don't believe in dimming ourselves for anybody, but it's just really uncomfortable to not be in alignment with oneself and to try to fit in a box or try to be what other people want us to be, because that's what leads to anxiety, honestly, and depression a lot of the time. So, and it is a complex trauma response, and I don't wish that on anybody. I hope you can be yourself a little bit more today in response to seeing this video. And if you'd like to book a session or check us out more, see any more of our videos, please feel free. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. And our website is loveishealingllc.com. And then we are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Love Is Healing LLC. Alrighty, I will see you next time. And again, if you have questions of anything that you'd like me to like post about, etc., let me know in the comments.